Joining us now to talk more about how the Muslim community is handling the backlash and stereotypes following the Fort Hood tragedy is the director of the Council on American Islamic Relations, Ahmed Rehab. He is joining us to talk more about this morning. Thanks for coming in this morning. What are your first reactions to the anti-Muslim, anti-Islamic sentiment that's floating out there amongst relatively few people? We must honestly put that out there too.
Well, first of all, we're extremely saddened and shocked by the act itself, which flies in the face of everything that Islam teaches. It was a heinous act that the community came out condemning very strongly and very early as soon as the news came out. As far as the backlash is concerned, I think most Americans are level-minded and know better than to take this out on a community that did no wrong. This was an individual act, a criminal act that the community completely condemned and does not in any way share the sentiments of this individual. The backlash, though, is something that we are concerned about. We've seen it in prior incidents, and so we're sending out information to mosques on how to beef up their security and how to report any sort of hate crimes to the appropriate sources.
Now, this is something that the Muslim community has had to deal with, quite frankly, probably long before, but most prominently after September 11th. We're talking almost 8-9 years ago, and still this is something that keeps coming up and up. How do you combat something? How do you handle situations like this so that there aren't it doesn't get out of control and explode into more violence?
Well, it's important for us to continue in what we do on a daily basis, which is to engage in dialogue with other faith communities, with the public, sort of mutual understanding type initiatives. It is important for us to educate the public as much as we can about our faith and to explain that it is not a faith that in any way condones this wanton violence against civilians or innocents. Also, it is important for the public to help in this process, and so we do depend on our friends and allies and other faith communities, the government itself, the media, to help get the word out that this community is a community like any other, working every day to put food on the table for their children, to make life better for their community, for themselves, their community, and their country.
Yeah, and actually we're reading now that, and we're hearing more about, there are some cases in the Army in which this Major Nadal Hassan mentioned that he felt prejudice, he felt discriminated against in the Army. How do you address situations like that? I mean, you've mentioned several times here during this interview how you want to be a part of the everyday community, how you want to just go to work and perform just like everyone else.
Yes, and we continue to do that steadfastly in the face of any challenges that may come up. But we also look to, as I said, government amongst other partners to help in the process of reconciliation, understanding between communities. And I would like to, at this point, thank the Commanding General of the military who came out in the interviews and stated very clearly that he is concerned for the Muslim personnel in the military, whom he states have served with utter patriotism and love for this country, putting themselves on the line next to their brethren of the Jewish, Christian, or any other faith. And there are 10,000 Muslims in the military, 3,500 active on the front line. So it is important for people to remember that this individual does not represent in any way not only the Muslim community, but even the Muslims in the military.
All right, Ahmed Rehab, with the Director of the Council of American Islamic Relations. Thanks for coming in this morning and talking with us.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you very much.